Hello everybody and welcome to Books. As promised, I am back. Before we get into today's video, I want to remind you that this video is sponsored by Dr. Pepper, so yeah, you should definitely drink it and stuff. Okay, so the subject of today's video is this very shiny book here called STEELHEART by Brandon Sanderson. STEELHEART is the first book in the Reckoner's trilogy, which in my opinion is some of Brandon Sanderson's very best work, and I will be going over each one in the following weeks. STEELHEART is great for a couple of reasons. The first of these reasons is the world building, which is amazing. Some of the most creative and innovative world building ideas I've ever seen. 10 years before the events in the novel take place, life is as normal on Earth until a strange red star appears in the sky called Calamity. Only a short time after that, theoretically random people begin developing superpowers, or epic powers as is referred to in the book, which come in a massive variety and are very heavily detailed. Include invisibility, regeneration, teleportation, elemental powers, invincibility, etc., just to name a few. However, every single person who develops these powers turns evil and goes rogue, fighting and committing crimes until they are either stopped or dominate. In the prologue of this book, which is also incredibly well written and happens about 6 years before the events of the novel, epics have been around for a long time, but society is still barely holding together. Our main character, David, and his father are at a bank, trying to extend his father's mortgage as they sink deeper and deeper into debt. All of a sudden, an ill-intending epic, one of the weaker epics in the area, called Death Point, breaks into the building and begins to kill people at random. His father sees a nearby gun from a fallen security guard, and since his father supposedly had former experience in the military, begins to inch toward it with plans of shooting Death Point. However, another epic enters the room. Now David's father always had ideas that not all epics were evil, and eventually heroes would come and save society from the thousands of evil epics that were plaguing it. This epic, called STEELHEART, soon reveals himself to be just as bad as Death Point, and challenges Death Point for dominating the people that he himself was supposed to dominate. However, when paramilitary units break into the room to try and stop both the epics, and STEELHEART turns to face them, Death Point approaches him from behind with plans of harming him. David's father, hoping that STEELHEART could still be redeemed, shoots Death Point, but in the process grazes STEELHEART's cheek, drawing blood. Now, STEELHEART is supposedly completely invincible, and the government units' bullets don't hurt him at all. But all epics have some sort of weakness, and for some reason, this bullet hurt him. Of course, STEELHEART, not wanting anyone to know his weakness, killed David's father and everyone else in the building, except David, who hid in the bank vault and miraculously survived. Now, fast forward 6 years later, David is an adult now, and all this time has been obsessed with the Reckoners, which, yes, is the name of the series. The Reckoners are a group of people who are the only remaining resistance against the epics. They assassinate key targets, though never anyone too powerful, and are perhaps David's only chances of taking down STEELHEART, who obviously he hates because he killed his father, etc., etc. Also, David knows that STEELHEART must have some sort of weakness, as he saw his father draw blood against him at that bank 6 years ago. David finally attaches himself to an epic that the Reckoners then assassinate, and from then on is able to join the Reckoners, and tells them about his idea of killing Steelheart. The Reckoners develop a plan. They know that something about the situation, David's father, the gun, maybe something in the bank vault, maybe something about the specific location, must have harmed Steelheart. So they set up a duel between Steelheart and a fictional epic who doesn't really exist, called Limelight, who is really just Prof, the leader of this group of Reckoners. They cover the field in items from the bank vault, and they do everything they can to make the situation exactly like the one that harmed Steelheart at the bank 6 years ago. Steelheart goes to fight Limelight, the fictional epic that is actually just Prof, and discovers David hiding behind the scenes. David, in a last-minute brilliance of inspiration, tricks Steelheart into detonating a bomb beneath his own feet. David guessed that Steelheart could only be feared by someone who could only be killed by someone who didn't fear him. And since David's father didn't actually fear Steelheart, and Steelheart didn't actually fear himself, these were the only two ways to hurt him, and, in the case of David, actually kill him. With Steelheart defeated, but most of society still in ruins, this book moves on to the sequels. Now, the action in Steelheart is absolutely unparalleled, and like I said, the world building and very unique prologue are some of its strongest aspects. I highly recommend this series to anyone who's looking for a read. Thank you for watching, guys. Keep an eye out for future videos, and make sure to drink Dr. Pepper. Drink it, drink it, drink it, drink it.